Dr. Jeffrey Lowell, professor of surgery and pediatrics at Washington University, joins us via Skype. Good morning, Dr. Jeffrey Lowell.
Good morning, McGraw. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning.
For the record, I really do like your velvet dog picture.
Thank you. I always knew you had class, Doctor. I always knew you had a little style.
Dr. Lowell, come on.
My velvet
Don't egg
picture
him
of
on.
dogs playing poker, that should be in every household.
I got one.
There you go. Doctor, just coming back from Africa, this Ebola story you probably followed a little more closely than the rest of us. How is it that these two doctors were actually saved?
Well, they were well-nourished, healthy people going into this, and they got world-class health care in the United States of America. I think that's what most people believe was why they were able to make it. This is a infectious illness that carries a mortality of 50 to 90%, and many think that part of the cause is the fact that healthcare in many countries in Africa is third world, fourth world. They just don't have the capabilities in terms of equipment, IVs, oxygen, ICU care, ventilators, safe blood transfusions, antibiotics, things like this. These are all things that we have in almost every city in America. So now these two doctors did get one of the experimental drugs. I don't think anyone has any opinion on whether it worked or not. But what we do know is that we have outstanding, excellent, world-class care here in America. And that's probably the thing that saved them.
It's interesting. So if there was world-class care in some of these regions in Africa, the rate would not be as bad as it is?
Mortality rate, probably true.
Yeah.
Same is true for, something that is way more common, malaria or cholera. I mean, many of these illnesses share common themes. They can have high fevers, you can get horrible diarrhea, and the mortality of both of those diseases is also much higher in third, fourth world countries than in the United States.
We're starting to see the outbreak there in different countries. What's the reason for that, and how did this? Do we have any idea how the outbreak started?
I'm not sure we know how this outbreak started, but it's spreading because for several reasons. There's lots of distrust for healthcare in many countries in Africa right now. People may not see these Ebola care centers as places to get better. Maybe they see them as places to die. There's frequently delays in diagnosis because of other illnesses that can mimic the early stages of early stages of Ebola, like cholera or malaria. And there is really no substantial infrastructure for public health in most of Africa.
Yeah.
This is going to take a while, I think, before people get in front of it.
Yeah. I heard somebody say that the reason why there's not some type of Ebola drug is that the pharmacists, is a very cynical view, but that the pharmaceutical companies don't see a profit in it because it's not here in America.
For sure, that's a cynical view. I think most pharmaceutical companies have two missions. One is to promote and treat, promote healthcare and treat disease, and the other is to make money because they have shareholders. So, perhaps there's something to that. But there's plenty of investigators that are working on this that are not part of pharmaceutical companies, that are independent, such as people at the National Institutes of Health and similar type institutes worldwide.
Yeah. All right, let's change topics. I love this story, and I think they should do this immediately. Doctors want schools to start later.
Yeah, so this is, I think, an important one, too. So this is a policy statement from the American Academy of Pediatrics that they say that middle and high school students shouldn't have to start school until 8:30 in the morning or later. And there's a lot of research behind this. Adolescents who do get enough sleep have much less risk of becoming overweight, of suffering depression, of having a lower risk of auto accidents, having better grades, have higher standardized test scores, and overall quality of life. And this has been studied many times. It's complicated because school is kind of set up right now to start at 7:30, and after school stuff to start at 2:30 or 3. But I think many schools will now, I hope, start adopting these kind of things, because kids, teenagers right now basically are permanently jet lagged.
Right.
I mean, they go to school and they put their head on the desk and they go to sleep.
If 8:30 is good, is 10:30 better?
Yeah, good question. I don't know. Just like many things, let's do this in increments. And I think if we can get that extra hour and a half or so, I think that would probably be a good first step.
I remember being in school and just being exhausted those early mornings.
I don't remember being exhausted, but I'm thinking also they need to go to bed earlier because, a lot of teenagers stay up late. They're texting, they're playing video games, and that doesn't help either.
Well, we can't do it at school because we have to get there too early.
Well, that's a good point. Kelly makes a good point. I mean, most of the time teenagers don't go to bed before 11, and they go to bed with, texting on their phone all night.
Yeah. While we have you, Doctor, e-cigarettes. What do we know about e-cigarettes? What are your thoughts there?
Well, the American Heart Association, which is a very reputable group, as well as the Food and Drug Administration, both think that they should be a last resort to quit smoking. Unfortunately, many children, like in the last year, more than 250,000 have tried them before ever smoking cigarettes, and so it's reversed. They were designed to be, at least by many, a way to stop smoking as opposed to a way to start smoking. And in my opinion, they definitely should be regulated as well, because they are a delivery system for nicotine, just a different one.
I knew a guy who had quit smoking for 5 years and started smoking e-cigarettes because he thought it was, hey, this is a great way to smoke without smoking. And that's not the idea of the e-cigarettes.
Exactly.
Doctor, be safe, be well. Thanks for checking in via Skype, and you are welcome in studio anytime, my friend.
Can't wait to see you, McGraw.
You got it. Dr.
Bye, Kelly.
Bye.
Dr. Jeffrey Lowell, professor of surgery and pediatrics at Washington University via Skype, and he's been one of these that has been embraced the technology from the beginning, and he's been nice enough to help us both on and off the air with this stuff.
All the way from Djibouti.
All the way from Djibouti, he Skyped in from, but now he's back in St. Louis, and sounds good, looks good.
Yeah, I think he's rested up now, I think.
But and that was our first Skype interview in the new studios.
Yeah.
Which worked out pretty well.
It sure did.
Yeah, good. All right, it's, what is it? It's 8:30, traffic, weather, sports, and then Cat Neville with Feast Magazine. That's next.